So you were involved with another television crisis. This is, NBC anchor Brian Williams forced to step down because he's exaggerated or lied about things he's done. Tell me how you heard about that. And you're very closely involved with veterans. So what was the emotional impact that had on you, and how did you get involved in helping to fix that situation?
Well, I don't know first of all, Brian's a very close friend of mine, and he's actually a wonderful guy who cares a lot about veterans. And I don't want to presume to tell you what was in his head, but I know enough that he never lied on the air, on his broadcast. What he did was by the way, he did enough things that were good enough, heroic enough. He was at Katrina. He was on that plane, the helicopter, behind the helicopter that was shot at, but he was in a war zone where they were shooting. So it wasn't like he wasn't there. One magazine called him a raconteur, and he exaggerated his stories. So I have great affection for him, and he's a really decent guy. But he did do the wrong thing. I mean, I'm not excusing him at all. He went on David Letterman, and he went on Jimmy Fallon, and he would tell stories and made himself a little more interesting. I thought it was interesting enough the places he'd been without having to exaggerate, but he exaggerated those stories.
So how do you deal with that internally?
Well, I wish I could take blame or credit. I was part of the group, but I spent a lot of time with Brian after that happened, and we talked about it a lot. And I was fortunate enough to be part of the consultant group that talked about what should be done with him and not. And I certainly didn't feel he should have been fired. I think he's a good man and did a not good thing.
Would you have brought him back as anchor?
Oh, well, that's such a loaded question. I can't give you an answer to that. I mean, Lester Holt's doing a great job. Ratings are great. I think wasn't my decision, fortunately, so I can't, again, take blame or credit. And I'm too personally involved with him to give you probably an honest answer. But I think that it worked out well for everyone. And I think that he's at MSNBC. He has a chance to really do something good for that network, and I think that network do something good for him. So I'm rooting for him. I think it's, I hope I was helpful in the sense that I spent a lot of time with him. I was a good mediator for both sides.